All right. It is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020 at 1:17 p.m. All right, guys, this is about the video. This video is about Laura. Hurricane Laura. We have now Hurricane Laura with maximum sustained winds of 65 knots or 75 miles per hour, minimum central pressure of 990 millibars, located 23.7 north and 87.0 west, movement west northwest at 14 knots or 16 miles an hour. Alright, let's take a look at some key messages for Hurricane Laura. Laura is forecast to reach the northwestern Gulf Coast at or near the major hurricane intensity Wednesday night. Do not focus on the details of the official forecast given the typical uncertainty and the National Hurricane Center's track and intensity predictions. Storm surge, wind, and rainfall hazards will extend well away from Laura's center along the Gulf Coast. There is danger of life-threatening storm surge accompanied by large and dangerous waves from St. Louis Pass, Texas, to the mouth of the Mississippi River, including areas inside Port Arthur Hurricane Flood Protection System. A storm surge warning is in effect, and residents should follow any advice given by local officials. Actions to protect life and property should be rushed to completion today, as water levels will begin to rise on Wednesday. So the time to start preparing if you live in Texas or Louisiana area is right now. You should have already been prepared at least a week ago, but if you're just getting notice of it now, you have a day to be prepared. Rush to completion today as water levels will begin to rise on Wednesday. Hurricane conditions are expected by Wednesday evening in the area of St. Louis Pass, Texas, to west of Morgan City, Louisiana, and hurricane warning is in effect. Tropical storm conditions are expected to begin in the warning area Wednesday afternoon. The threat of widespread flash and urban flooding along the small streams overflowing their banks will be increasing Wednesday night into Thursday from far eastern Texas across Louisiana and Arkansas. This will lead to minor to isolated moderate river flooding. The heavy rainfall threat will spread northeastward into the middle Mississippi, lower Ohio, and Tennessee valleys Friday and Saturday. So we've got a whole area affected by the rain, affected by the winds, affected by the storm coming in, and the flood surging along the coast and rivers. Alright, so right now, Hurricane Laura is at level 75 mile per hour winds, maximum sustained winds of 75 miles an hour, movement west northwest at 16 miles an hour. So right now it is a hurricane, and it will continue to be a hurricane until Wednesday 7 a.m. Then it will turn into a major hurricane. That's what the M right here is. Major hurricane by 7 p.m. on Wednesday. So when it reaches the coast of Texas and Louisiana, brace yourselves because you're having a major hurricane come on land. And then at 7 a.m. on Thursday, it will lower to a hurricane status. And then 7 p.m. on Thursday, it will lower even more to storm. And then at 7 a.m. on Friday, it will lower even more to depression as it's over Arkansas. So all the way from the Texas coast, Louisiana inland, part of Texas, part of Oklahoma, and part of Arkansas should be bracing themselves for this hurricane. Alright. Alright, these are the rainfall outlooks for this area. This whole area in red here from Louisiana to Texas to Oklahoma and Arkansas. In red, that is the the moderate to high rain outlooks. In yellow, it's slight, and in green, it's marginal. So these areas are going to be seeing a lot of rainfall. Alright. This is rain forecast for the area in inches here on the right. We got 4 inches to 6 inches here where the Louisiana landfall will happen. Louisiana, Texas landfall right here. And then 4 to 2 inches on the surrounding areas. And then 1 inch in the lighter green. So that's a lot of rainfall very quickly. Alright, and this is the tropical storm force winds, wind speed probabilities. So this is in miles per hour. 70 to 80 is the red and the pink magenta in the middle. To 90 right here in the middle. 70, 80, and 90 parts of Texas, Louisiana. So that's going to be pretty strong winds coming in. So be prepared for that, guys. You gotta be prepared. Your property. Let me read the hurricane safety checklist. Hurricanes are strong storms that cause life and property threatening hazards such as flooding, storm surge, high winds, and tornadoes. Preparation is the best protection against dangers of hurricane. Know the difference. A hurricane watch is hurricane conditions are a threat within 48 hours. Review your hurricane plans, keep them informed, and be ready to act if a warning is issued. A hurricane warning. Hurricane conditions are expected within 36 hours. Complete your storm preparations and leave the area if directed to do so by authorities. Listen to the weather radio for critical information from the National Weather Service. Check your disaster supplies and replace or restock as needed. Bring in anything that can be picked up by the wind, bicycles, lawn furniture. Close windows and doors, hurricane shutters. If you do not have hurricane shutters, close and board up all the windows and doors with plywood. This is basically for people who are right on the coast of Texas and Louisiana and are in the way of the storm. It says turn the refrigerator and freezer to the coldest setting and keep them closed as much as possible so that food will last longer as the power goes out. Turn off propane tanks and unplug small appliances. Fill your car's gas tank. Talk with members of your household and create an evacuation plan. Planning and practicing your evacuation plan minimizes confusion and fear during the event. Learn about your community's hurricane response plan. Plan routes to local shelters. Register family members with special medical needs as required, and make plans for your pets to be cared for. Don't forget your pets. Evacuate if advised by authorities. Be careful to avoid flooded roads and washed out bridges. Because standards homeowners insurance doesn't cover flooding, it's important to have protection from the floods associated with hurricanes, tropical storms, heavy rains, and other conditions that impact the U.S. For the information on flood insurance, please visit the National Flood Insurance Program website at floodsmart.gov. Also, water, have at least 3-day supply, 1 gallon per person per day. Food, have at least 3-day supply of non-perishable, easy to prepare food. Have a flashlight. Have battery-powered or hand crank radio with the National Weather Radio if possible. Extra batteries, first aid kit, medications, 7-day supply of medical items, multiple purpose tool, sanitation and personal hygiene items, copies of personal documents, medication list, and pertinent medical information, proof of address, lease of home, passport, birth certificates, and insurance policies. Have cell phone with chargers, family and emergency contact information, extra cash, emergency blanket, maps of the area, baby supplies, bottles, baby food, pet supplies, tools, supplies for securing your home, extra set of car keys and house keys just in case, extra clothing, hat, and sturdy shoes, rain gear, insect repellent and sunscreen, camera for photos of damage with your insurance. Continue listening to the National Weather Radio Station or other local areas for latest updates. Stay alert for extended rainfall and subsequent flooding event after the hurricane or tropical storm has ended. If you get evacuated, return home only when officials say it is safe. Drive only if necessary and avoid flooded roads and washed out bridges. Keep away from loose or dangling power lines and report them immediately to the power company. Stay out of any buildings that water stands around in. Inspect your home for damage. Take pictures of damage, both of the building and its contents, for insurance purposes. Use flashlights in the dark. Do not use candles. That's what this says, because of hazard of fire. It says avoid drinking and preparing food with tap water until you are sure it is not contaminated. Check refrigerated food for spoilage. If in doubt, throw it out. Wear protective clothing and be cautious when cleaning up to avoid injury. Watch animals closely and keep them under direct control. And use a telephone only for emergency calls. So this is the Hurricane Safety Checklist by the Red Cross. Alright, now let's take a look quickly here at the forecast models. This is Hurricane Laura right now in the Gulf right here. Let's zoom in so you guys can have a better look. 973 millibars. That's what it says right there. Alright. 973 millibars is basically a category 2 hurricane. That's what it's forecasted in a little while. But let's take a look here at the forecast models. Let it play as it reaches the coast right there. 958 millibars. 958 millibars as it's approaching right there on the coast of Texas and Louisiana. And 958 millibars is basically a category 3 hurricane. Alright, so category 3 hurricane right before it makes landfall. Then 957 as it makes landfall. And 970 and 986 as it reaches inland. 986 is basically a category 1 and 2 right there. 986 is basically category 2. Category 1. So you still have it being a strong storm as it pulls in to inland Louisiana and Texas, as it's pulling into Arkansas and Oklahoma. So people who live all the way in there inland in Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Texas, please be prepared. Please have your homes ready. Please have everything that you need. I'm sorry that this video has a bit long, but just wanted to share the information as best I could, have people prepared and ready the best they can. This is the tracking guidance for the Hurricane Laura, and you see here the majority of the tracks have it landing right between Louisiana and Texas, and one of them is going towards Houston, but majority of them have them going right here in the Louisiana-Texas border and going inland and then coming over Tennessee, parts of Virginia, and then coming out through New Jersey and parts of Massachusetts out into the Atlantic. Alright, this is the possibility of the model intensity. It could possibly get to 3, and it could possibly 2 tracks have it possibly getting to lowercase 4, category 4 hurricanes. Alright, as I had said in my previous videos, it could get to category 4, but that's like pushing it. That's like, if anything, it will get to a 4 if it's really, really good conditions for the hurricane to develop. But that's it for this video, guys. Hit like and subscribe for more, and please be prepared and ready. If you live in this area, make sure you keep an eye on your elderly neighbors or your neighbors who have disabilities. Please keep an eye on them, and God bless you guys. Pray for the people in Louisiana and Texas. Please pray for each other and watch over each other in this difficult time. Alright, guys. God bless you guys, and see you next time.